these meal plans that you can be having to fit the macros that you're on at the moment. So we're going to go through some sample meal plans, and these are quite specific, but they're quite simple. So the point of these isn't to give you the most gourmet meals, it's just to show you how foods add up to the macros you should be hitting. So some of these meals don't even make sense. So for example, I probably wouldn't have myself salmon with just some cherry tomatoes and almonds on top. But for the purpose of these sample meal plans, it's just showing you how they actually work. Okay, so let's look at this 1800 calorie diet to start off with. Now, it's got 10% carb here. This is a sample meal plan we had already. We didn't do one for 15% carb like most of you will be on for this 14-day program. 800 calorie diet, 55% fat, 35% protein, 10% carbs. So you can see it's quite high fat and a bit lower carb. The difference between what you guys are on is 45% fat, 40% protein, 15% carb. But the same numbers still apply, same principles still apply. All you have to do is chop and change, and I'll show you how to do that with more meal plans to come. So, per day, according to these ratios, like we explained yesterday, these are the calorie numbers that you're supposed to be hitting with the gram amounts. Okay, it's 157 grams of protein. Remember, there's 4 calories per gram. So there's 157 grams times that by 4 is 630 calories. Okay, 45 times 4 is 180. Remember, there's 9 calories per gram of fat, so 110 times 9 is 990. So these are the numbers you want to hit per day. If in MyFitnessPal it says you've had 157 grams today, you've had 45 grams of carbs, you've had 110 grams of fat, guarantee you'll have had 1800 calories for the day. Okay, so again, we break this down into 4 meals because 4 meals is quite easy to stick to, and it helps us have 4 consistent meals throughout the day. Basically, just dividing these totals by 4. So per meal, you want to have 39 grams of protein per day, 11 grams of carbs, and 27 grams of fat every single meal. Okay, that's quite high fat, so you guys won't need to be going this high. So remember, this is just an example of how to hit, these numbers are how to hit 1800 calories. Okay, so let's go through some meal examples. Meal 1, you have an egg, ham, and onion omelette. Yeah, you have 4 eggs, 24 grams of protein, 0 carbs, 20 grams of fat. Yeah, 100 grams of ham, good protein there, bit of fat, 100 grams of onion to get that carb ratio up. Okay, so the total for this meal is 43 grams of carbs, which is 4 grams over what we're trying to hit, right? Remember, we're trying to hit 39 grams, but just slightly over. 11 grams of carb, which is spot on. 28 grams of fat, so we're half a gram over. Okay? Meal 2, lunch. Salmon, cherry tomatoes, almonds. Again, 25 grams protein, 9 grams fat for the salmon. So very little for the cherry tomatoes, just getting that carb amount up. And then 9 grams of carbs for the almonds. Also has good protein and fat. So this is where that fat comes up. 50 grams of almonds give you 23 grams of fat. Okay, this is where food scales come in. So 35 grams of protein, slightly under that 39 grams what we're trying to hit. Carbs, slightly over, that's fine. Fat, slightly over as well. Okay, so you can see how this is starting to add up. Each meal, we're just trying to get as close to those numbers as possible. Remember, your total calorie intake is 1800 calories, but your range is 100 under or over that, so you can afford to hit between 1700 and 1900 and be in your range. Okay, so if we're going slightly under or over these numbers here, that's not a big deal in the scheme of things. Meal 3, mid-afternoon. So you've had breakfast, you've had lunch, you're having a mid-afternoon meal, your meal before dinner. Chicken breast, 28 grams protein, 8 grams fat. Avocado, broccoli, baby spinach. Okay, getting these carbs up with these veggies. Okay, 36 grams protein, 11 grams fat, carb perfect again, and 30 grams fat, slightly over. So because we've gone over fat every single time, we can assume that with dinner, we probably should go a little bit under. Okay, so dinner, you just have a steak cooked with extra olive oil to get that fat intake up, and then just some vegetables, red capsicum, lettuce, cucumber, 100 grams of each, adding up to 43 grams of protein, 9 grams of carbs, 27 grams of fat. So our daily totals, if you add all 4 meals up, is 157 grams of protein, which is perfect, what we're trying to hit for the day. 43 grams of carbs, which is 2 grams below what we're trying to hit for the day, but that doesn't make a difference because that's only 8 calories below. That's nothing, okay? If you're 8 calories off, you're doing pretty fucking awesome. Yeah, 117 grams of fat, which is 6 grams over, so 54 calories above, okay? So fat's the one you got to watch. You probably don't want to overdo those fats, especially on this diet. This is 55% fat, so that's quite high fat. Okay, but can you see how these numbers add up? Very simple meals, adding all the numbers together to get these final numbers here. Okay, that's 1800 calories. Let's look at one for 2500 calories. Okay, same ratios, just higher numbers. Okay, so instead of 157 grams, now you're trying to hit 218 grams. Okay, carbs, you can afford to be hitting 62 grams. Fat, 152 grams. Okay, so per meal, it's a bit higher. 55 grams of protein, 15 grams of carb, 38 grams of fat. Okay, so in this example, we have the exact same foods, but we're just increasing numbers to make sure that they are in alignment with this. At the end of the day, you've had 2,500 calories rather than 1,800 calories. And I'm flying through this. I'm talking really quick because it's just a bunch of numbers. You don't have to pay attention to the numbers. You can just see how it's been broken down here, and you can download the meal plans below. Okay? So instead of 4 eggs, you're having 5 eggs. 150 grams of ham and onion rather than 100 grams. That way, these numbers increase. Now they've got 57 grams of protein, which is slightly over. 13 grams of carbs. 37 grams of fat, which is slightly under. Meal 2, salmon for lunch, same thing, having 157 grams of salmon instead of 100 grams. Yeah, 7 cherry tomatoes instead of 5. Yeah, 50 grams of almonds still, but this time we've added 100 grams of mushroom just to get all these numbers up. Okay, so protein's slightly under, carbs pretty good, fat's pretty good. Yeah. Meal 3, chicken breast again, the same vegetables, just increasing it. All 150 grams now compared to that 100 grams of what the 1,800 calorie diet was. So if we go back to that, you see this meal 3 was 100 grams of each. And this one 150 grams of each, and our numbers look pretty spot on. Fat's a little bit over. Okay, that's just because that avocado's gone right up. Yep. Meal 4, dinner. Same foods, same veggies, increasing the amounts. Boom, we're pretty much hitting the numbers. And this time the fat is 8 grams under. So it was 8 grams over in meal 3, 8 grams under in meal 4, and that way it'll end up even. Okay, so protein we've had 220 grams. That's 2 grams above. What we were going to have. 58 grams of carbs, that's 4 grams below what we could have. 149 grams of fat, that's 3 grams below. So we've essentially gone about 50 calories below what we could be doing, and that's fine. Okay, very simple meals. Can you see how these numbers add up? So each piece of food has a certain amount of protein, carbs, and fats in it. You add each one into the meal. At the end of the meal, you should be hitting those numbers, okay, or whatever's specific to you. All right, very simple stuff. So this last one is a bit more specific. I wanted to show you those first two just so you could see how stuff adds up, how simple meals, simple foods can add up to a certain number. So this just gives you a little bit more options. You can download this one in the thing below as well. Okay, so this one's a bit different ratio. It's 2,200 calorie diet, but 20% carb, 45% fat, 35% protein. Okay, some bit more similar to what you guys are doing. So this one, eggs on toast. Similar foods again. 4 eggs, ham, onion on one whole piece of toast. That's 45 grams protein. 23 grams carb, 29 grams fat. Yeah, an egg omelette. Again, just more options of you putting it together to hit these types of numbers, hit these types of ratios. Okay, all these numbers are very similar to these ratios per meal. Okay, sausage and veg. 200 gram beef sausage, onion, cucumber, mushrooms. Boom, hitting the same kind of numbers. Okay, meal 2 and 3. Again, you're essentially just picking, like we've said the whole time, your lean protein part, which is your salmon or your chicken breast or your tuna. Yeah, anything off that list. With your carb part, which is veggies or brown rice here, potato, that kind of thing. But again, because this is 20% carb, these people can afford, like this meal plan can afford to have a bit higher carbs. So that's why, with brown rice and potato, the carbs are quite high. You guys might not be able to eat that high. Yeah, if you can fit it in, you can fit it in. And then your fat part as well. So your fat can come from your salmon, can come from the rice, can come from the chicken breast, can come from the avocado, that kind of thing. Yeah. Again, chicken thigh, just something different. Different protein, different lean meat, carbs, vegetables, that kind of thing. Yep. Dinner, exact same stuff. You pick your protein part, you get your fat part, so you get your steak, you get your olive oil, and you get your carb part, which is your veggies. Yeah, this meal plan can afford to have potato because it's 20% carb. Okay. Again, hitting these numbers as spot on as possible. Beef patty, your lean meats. Again, bacon with some fat in there, olive oil, veggies. Yep. Lamb sausage, prawns and rice. Yeah, these are all just example meals of what you could be having to hit these types of numbers. If you pick one of these foods per meal per day, you're going to be pretty close to hitting these ratios for a 2,200 calorie diet. Okay? Does everyone understand how this works? Make sure that you can't answer me right now, but make sure that you post in the group if you understand it, if you're confused, and ask any questions. But essentially, you can download these 3 meal plans, use these numbers to see how it works. It's very simple once you understand it. There's nothing more complicated to it. You don't have to make gourmet meals. You can if you want. You can be more creative, but this is just simply putting foods in there to show you how easily the numbers add up. Okay? Very simple stuff. We'll look forward to talking to you tomorrow, boys. We've got some more epic stuff lined up for the rest of the week. Enjoy this. If it was confusing, watch it again. See how the numbers work. We'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.